Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to start a series of my makeup collection mixed with kind of a declutter. And that's why I'm kind of like, top down. You can see my hands. I got things here. That is because I figured this was going to be the easiest way to show you guys what I have, and it'd just be easier for me. So the last video that would have gone up on my channel would have been my December Shop My Stash, or like monthly makeup basket thing. I don't know what I called it because I haven't put it up yet at this point when I'm filming. But literally, I think the day after I filmed that, I found out that in about 5 months, I will be moving. And I will be moving very far away compared to where I am. So I am just going to be going through all of my belongings in general and just trimming the fat, getting rid of what I don't want and don't need. And I am starting with my makeup because right now, the amount of makeup that I have compared to the amount of space that I have to store it is ridiculous. To be perfectly honest, let me be very honest here. If I had more like storage room, I would not be getting rid of any of my makeup. Well, maybe some of it. But the problem is I don't have all the room in the world to store it. And at this current moment in time, I don't know exactly what our housing situation is going to look like. So I don't know how much room I'm going to have where we move. So it's going to be a little tricky. So that's why I'm just trying to, I want all of my makeup, at least excluding my eyeshadow palettes, I want all of my makeup to be able to fit nicely in my makeup drawers, which right now they really don't. Like, many of my drawers are just stuffed full, like stuff is just like all over the place. It's crazy. It's to the point where even if I organized it, like it would still be overflowing. So I need to chill. And I'm going to be starting with face palettes. Now, I don't know that I'm going to do too great on decluttering my face palettes because I really, really love having face palettes. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the convenience of just having like multiple things in one spot and like only having really to grab one product and then you've got multiple options. But anyway, so when I do my declutters, I'm going to do it's going to be a series of them because there's a lot of makeup categories and I have a lot of makeup in each one. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be separating the ones that I'm going to keep for certain. Absolutely 100% I'm certain I will be moving with these items. Another category that I'm going to be putting things into is things that I absolutely for certain know that I do not want to move with. And then I'm going to have kind of like a maybe pile, but my maybe pile isn't going to be resolved in these videos. My maybe pile is really mostly going to be either things that I'm pretty sure I can do without, but I want to get some more use out of before I decide, or things that I'm not sure of my feelings of, so I want to get more use out of it again before I decide whether or not I'm going to move with it or I'm going to declutter it. And anything I declutter is going to be offered to my sisters and my mom, so it won't be going to waste. I know at least one of my sisters would probably take literally anything I'd give her. So there's that. Nothing's going to be wasted. But actually, I was going to start with my highlighter palettes. I have all my palettes separated into 4 categories. Sorry, I've got highlighter palettes, blush palettes, so palettes that only have highlighters in it, palettes that only have blush in it. I've got my multi-product face palettes, so anything that has a mixture of bronzer, blush, highlight. And then I have another category that's kind of like sort of miscellaneous. I don't know. I'm going to start with the sort of miscellaneous because that has the least amount of products in it. I don't have a lot of desk space right now. Everything's just crazy. So you'll be able to see my piles around me. I apologize if that is bothersome, but I'm going to start with this. I've got 4 palettes in this category. The first one is the Beyond Radiance palette by Makeup Revolution. This is technically called a highlighter palette. let me see if I can like, okay, there we go. This is technically called a highlighter palette, but they're like very, if you can use them as highlighters, but they're very subtle. They are very nice, and you can definitely use them as highlighters. But if you use a light dusting, these work very similarly to the, what are they called? Those like little square, I'm completely blanking. What are they called? What are they? They're like the Radiant Lights by, I don't know. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm making no sense right now. But there's a product, a high-end product, that you can use as a highlighter, or you can dust it as a finishing powder, and it just kind of gives you like an all-over glow. I literally cannot remember the brand or what they're called right now, but they're super popular. I'm just blanking really hard, but these are very similar to that, and they're very nice. I will be keeping this. I'll be really honest, most of this I'll probably be keeping. I really don't know how long I'm going to do on this category, but I'm going to be keeping this because it's the only thing I have that's anything like this. I don't think I have any other like finishing powders really. And I don't keep this with my highlights. I do keep this with my face powders, so I only use this really as a finishing powder. So I will be keeping that. This is by Makeup Revolution. It's called the Ultra Blush Palette. It's the All About Bronzed palette. I don't know why it's called an Ultra Blush palette, but it's really a bronzer palette. It's a bronzer palette with 3 highlights in it. So there's these 5 right here are bronzers, and then these 3 are really more like highlights. So let me swatch these like darker ones. I don't know if you can tell. That gold one really, I could probably shear it out and make it work for me in the summer. And where I'm going to be moving, it's essentially summer year round. So I could probably get use out of these. And I'm not the type of person to get rid of an entire palette just because there's 1 or 2 shades in it that I'm not getting a ton of use out of. So I definitely think I'm going to be keeping this because the quality is really nice. Makeup Revolution does a great job on face products, like cheek products. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in my maybe pile. I want to get some more use out of that and see what my thoughts are. This is the Ace Beauté Bronzed in Paradise palette. That's what it looks like. I really can't get a lot of use out of these 2 darker shades. Whoops, things are falling around me. I might be able to use the 3rd shade in the summer, but I do really like the other 2 shades. So I will be keeping these 2, and this is my only like purely bronzer palette. So I will be keeping that. And then the last one in this pile is the Profusion Pro Contour 6 shade contour palette. And this is meant to be like a dupe for the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I actually haven't gotten enough use out of this to really form a full opinion, so I'm going to put this in my maybe pile as well. Hopefully. I really should have thought this through a little bit more because I don't really have a place for my maybe pile. I'm going to put it over here. Hopefully things don't start falling over. I'm going to start having avalanches happen like that. Okay. That's great. Cool. Next, I'm going to go over my blush palettes because that's the next smallest pile. Let's see. Okay, let me go over the ones that I know I'm going to keep for sure. I'm definitely keeping my Menagerie Arthurine blush palette. This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. This is a beautiful palette. I don't see myself ever getting rid of this palette. I love it so much. And then there are, I think most of my blush palettes I'll probably be keeping because I just love them so much. I will also 100% be keeping both of my Likely Makeup blush palettes. I have the Clown Blush and the Fairy Blush. These are both beauteous. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. keeping both of those absolutely for sure. And then the next one I'll be keeping for sure is the Juvia's Place Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette. Again, just so beautiful. And I feel like all four of these blush palettes have very unique tones compared to these other three blush palettes I'm about to show you and compared to my singles. So definitely keeping those four. Now the next three I have are the Profusion Cosmetics Blush 3 blush palette. Yeah, it doesn't really have a name. It's just the Blush 3. So there's that one. And then I have the Profusion blush palette. I think this is the original. There's that one. That one will not stay open. And then I have the e.l.f. blush palette. I think mine is in light. Yep, I have the light version. So there is that. I really like this palette. This looks like a bronzer, but I really use it more as a blush because it's pretty, I don't know. I really like it to mix in with some of these other colors if I'm trying to tone it down. It's not like super, I mean, I could use it as a bronzer, I guess, but it's really, I don't know. I use it more as a blush. But I do really like this palette. The quality is very good. But I think I'm going to put this in my maybe pile and try and see if I really need it. Because I know my opinion on it. I do really like it. I just need to, I want to use it some more. See if it's something I really feel like I need to keep. This palette I've actually been using a lot lately. Again, really for the same purpose as what I'm making my maybe pile for. I was trying to get some more use out of it to try and form a solid opinion on it. And I do really like these blushes. These are very pigmented, so you have to be very careful with them. But they are beautiful. Let's see, are there any crossover shades? Chic, I think, is the only crossover shade on these two palettes. I just feel like they are different enough for me to keep both. I actually really like this like creamsicle kind of shade over here and this orange shade. I'm going to put both of these in my maybe pile because these two, while I love them both, the quality is great on both. I am going to put these in my maybe pile so that when I go through my single blushes, I can try and compare shades that I have in my single blushes and see if any of them cross over, if I have any dupes between those and these. And if I don't, then I'll keep these. If I do and I like these more than the singles that dupe them, then I'll keep these. If I have dupes in my singles and I like the singles more, then I'll get rid of these. So these are going to go in my maybe pile. I hope that made sense. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I am going to, excuse me, I'm going to go over my like mixed face palettes next. I'm going to do my highlight palettes last because those are going to be the trickiest, and I feel like I actually might end up keeping all of them because highlight is literally my weakness. I think that might be, besides eyeshadow palettes, that might be the category that I have the most of. It's a little crazy. So let's get the smaller ones out of the way. So I've got 5 smaller ones. I've got this Laura Geller Multitasking Eye, Lip, and Cheek palette. This one I rolled into my Shop My Stash for December because I haven't used it on my face yet. I really only have swatched it. So I wanted to test it out and see if I like it. So this is going to stay in my Shop My Stash for December, and it's going to go in my maybe pile. The e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder Duo in Fiji. I love this, but let me see. I have, oops, those are gonna fall, so ooh, I need to be careful. Let me look at the, no, that's not correct. Let me look at my Ace Beauté. It's not, no, it's not the same tone. It's much cooler toned, which I do really like. I feel like the blush I could probably dupe in one of my other palettes, maybe, or maybe in one of my singles. I don't know. I do really like this. Quality is great. Oh, you can see my face there. Whoopsie. But it's going to go in my maybe pile. We'll see. This one I actually just got. It swatches horrendously. I just saw this and I got it on a whim. It was really cheap. This is the W7 Bronze Brilliance Bronze and Glow palette. I just got suckered into it. The highlight, and like, this was really kind of like a rose gold highlight. The highlights are beautiful. They swatch incredibly. This, I guess this one does too. Wow, those swatch way better than the first time I swatched them. Like, those look beautiful. Was it the bronzer that didn't swatch well? I don't remember. The bronzer is kind of like a pukey brown color. So I really need to try this out. I actually haven't tried this on my face yet, so I need to try this out before I make any decisions. So probably from now on, I will be rolling into my Shop My Stash items that are in my maybe pile. Or if I decide that what I've used in my Shop My Stash, sorry, I cannot talk today. What I've used in my Shop My Stash, I've created a strong enough opinion on. I will probably start using some of the other things on my maybe pile. Let's see. This is the Ulta Beauty Duo. It's like a highlight and blush duo. And the highlight's in Fresh Glow and the blush is in Nude Pink. Oh, I love that blush color. The highlight's okay. It's not like anything crazy, but it's pretty. I think this is going to go in my maybe pile also. This is the Real Her Ultimate Glow Getter Cheek Trio. I was about to say Treek Chio. Why do I always do that? Is that does anybody else do that when they go to say like a 2-word phrase? They like mix up the words that way? I don't understand why I do that, but it happens. So this has a blush, a highlight, and a bronzer. I haven't used this yet, so this needs to go in my maybe pile. So that I can figure out if I like it. I got that from a BoxyCharm, I believe. All right, let's go over all of my Makeup Revolution ones. Let's see. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's get this out of the way because I definitely know I'm getting rid of this. This is the Color Co Faux Glow Bronzer and Highlighter Collection. These are just not great. Like, they're not horrible. If you need to, you can make these work. I have used these many, many times. It's just, they're nothing impressive. They work. They're just not really fun for me to use. I don't have to struggle to make them work, but they're just not like it's just not fun for me to use. But you can see I got some nice use out of these two bronzers and especially this highlighter. But I think I'm definitely ready to pass this on. Is this the first one I'm getting rid of? Is it? What? Okay. I told you I'm not going to do great on this category. So I have 3 Makeup Revolution palettes. This is the Ultra Pro Glow 2. This is meant to be a all highlight palette, but as you can probably guess, many of these shades are too dark for me for a highlight. I really can only use maybe these 4, but mostly these 2. These 2 I use mostly as like a blush topper, and then I don't really get much use out of these 4. So this actually might end up being something I can get rid of. Because I don't know. That might go in my maybe pile. We'll see. This is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Blush Palette in Golden Sugar 2 Rose Gold. This is really more like a highlight palette. There's really only one blush in here. for me personally, and that's this one. It's a very light color. I don't even know if that's going to show up on camera. And it's got 2 bronzers in here. And then this one is definitely just too dark for me. This like bronzy color. But it is like, oh, do you see how like glitzy and just, oh, flippin' beautiful. I'm keeping this one. I cannot get rid of that. It's so beautiful. And then this is the Ultra Blush Palette Sugar and Spice. These are all, 6 of these are blushes. 2 of them are really more like highlights. And this one's kind of more like this more pinky one is kind of more like a blush topper, really. But oh, Makeup Revolution just does face palettes so well. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to pass this one along because I really just, I'm not heartbroken over the idea of getting rid of it, and I really only use mostly like just these 2 shades. So yeah, that's not heartbreaking to me, so let's get rid of it. Let's move that over there because that's not in the maybe pile. This one is actually new, so I will not be getting rid of it. This is the Becca Sunsetter face palette, and it's stinking beautiful. It's got like, it's got a shimmering bronzer. It's got like 2 shimmery blushes / blush toppers, a highlight. It's so freaking gorgeous. I love that so much. I'm definitely keeping it. Let's see. I've got 2 Profusion palettes. Oh, I'm keeping this one for sure. This is the Benefit Cheek Parade. And it's beautiful. I love it so much. It's got Hula Hula Light, Dandelion, California, sorry, and Rockateur. And it's stinking beautiful. I love it so much. I definitely need to use it more, but I'm not getting rid of that. No, no, no. This is the Profusion Highlight and Contour Kit. It's got a contour shade, which I guess is kind of a contour shade. It's more cool tone. I actually prefer a more cool tone bronzer a lot of the time, so I'd probably just end up using this as a bronzer, and I'm light enough that that would work as a bronzer. And then, let's see. I'm running out of space. Do you see those? They're so beautiful. Oh my goodness. But really, again, this is another one that I feel like I can pass along. I feel like my sister would get a lot more use out of this than I've been getting, and it's just, it's not a heartbreaking enough idea. I'm not heartbroken enough. But what am I trying to say? When I think of getting rid of this, it doesn't like shatter my soul. So I can get rid of that one. This is the Profusion Blush and Bronze Palette. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this. It's so beautiful. So you've got 3 bronzers over here. There's, I mean, really, this is like a bronzer topper for me. Or just like, if I'm trying to be super bronze looking, I might be able to get away with that as a highlighter in like the dead of summer. But this Ooh La La shade is just Ooh La La. I'm a sucker for those like peachy, pinky, gold duochrome shifty shades, which is what Ooh La La is. I want to keep this, but I definitely want to get some more use out of it and see where I want to go from there. So that's going in my maybe pile. Now for highlight palettes. Okay. Let's see. Let's actually start with BH Cosmetics because I've got like 3 from them. Yeah. I have 3 BH Cosmetics highlight palettes. This Aspen highlight palette is currently in my December makeup basket, and this highlight palette is insane. If you want some affordable, but like fun colors, shifty, sparkly, wet looking, delicious, pigmented, like beam to the aliens highlights on a budget, look no further than BH Cosmetics. Like, I don't think I could hype them up enough. Like, as a brand as a whole, I think they're very underrated. I think a lot of people now are starting to realize how good they are, but their highlight palettes especially are out of this world. It's insane. I am 100% keeping this. I'm probably keeping all my BH Cosmetic ones because they're too beautiful to get rid of. I also have the Illuminating in Ireland by BH Cosmetics. Again, stinking beautiful. Really, I mean, as far as highlights go, I can't really get too much highlighting use out of this palette. I mean, I really love this one because it's like a white green duochrome shift. Do you see that green shift? But these two, I mean, I really would only get use out of the first row, but I think maybe that's enough for me to convince myself to keep it. I'm going to put this right here. This is not going anywhere. I'm going to use this to compare to some of the other highlights I have in palettes. If I can find highlights that are similar enough to these, then I'll let this one go. So let's keep that there for now. This is the BH Cosmetics Black Light Highlight Palette. Oh, there comes my dog. Hello. Hello, dog. Can you sit? Susie, sit. Zeus, calm your buns. He's too excited. He just woke up. And he's a Gigantosaurus, so you can hear his clobbering feet from across the house. This palette is beautiful. It is so fun and colorful, and I can get highlighting use out of all of these shades, including this like darker purple one, because you can really like sheer it out, and it's just like this purple shift on like, it really doesn't have too much of a base color. Like when I move my hand that way, you can't really, it's just so beautiful. I love every single shade in here. Let me see how similar this green one and this green one are. Try and get the highlighter off my fingers. They're definitely different. This one's more of like a limey green, and this one is more of like a yellowy green. They're definitely different, but do I need both? Oh, that's a tough decision. If I actually think I have another greeny highlight in my Anastasia Moonchild palette. Yeah, I have Lucky Clover. So let me actually shift. Let me swatch all three of these next to each other. And then see, when I feel like when the Anastasia one is in there, they look even more similar. The Anastasia one and the Blacklight one are very, very close. I feel like the Anastasia one is just a little bit brighter, but I'm still not convinced. If I can find close matches for these two, then we'll be on our way to getting rid of that one. But I'm keeping this Blacklight one. They have another BH Cosmetics one. This is a very old one. This had been discontinued. It wasn't on the BH. Was it on the BH Cosmetics website? I think it was, but I think this has been discontinued now. And they had another one that was very similar to it that was also colorful highlights that I really, really want, but I can't find it anymore. And I'm so sad. No, I'm keeping that. Why am I putting it over there? Put it over here. Okay, let's see. Let me look at this. I've got this Smoke and Mirrors Golden Sugar highlight palette. I actually got this. If you're unaware, Smoke and Mirrors is a brand that is sold at Five Below, and they actually have some hidden gems. Let's see. That one. That one. Where do I put it on this one? Okay. So I can get use out of 3 of the 4 highlights in here, but you know what? I feel like Charmed in here looks kind of similar to Golden Bronze. So let's see. I'm getting highlighter all over my clothes because I didn't bring anything to wipe my hands off with. So let's see. Charmed. Oh no, Golden Bronze and Charmed. Oh, definitely not the same. Yeah, the BH Cosmetics one is definitely more impressive. Let's see. I feel like these ones just have more of like a sheer quality and they're just more sparkly. The BH Cosmetics one it's like a mix of metallic and sparkle. I really want to keep this one. I love that one. I'm definitely keeping my ABH Moonchild palette. It's so beautiful and so unique. Have to keep that. I'm also keeping my Becca Barbie Fiera palette. Actually, ooh, let me see. I know you might be thinking I'm crazy because it looks like there's 3 shades in here that I can't use, but I love it, so I'm not getting rid of it. Let's see. Those 2 shades right there. That is this one from the Becca palette and Golden from the BH Cosmetics palette. Are they close enough? Let's see. I love this one, this shade right here. This beautiful blue shift. Is that really the only reason I'm keeping this palette? Is that one? I mean, I do love all these shades. But can I even see? Yeah, so the purple I can sheer out enough to be able to use it. This one, not so much. But this one I can. So yeah, I can use 4 out of the 5. I'm keeping it. This one I'm not sure of. This is the Beauty Creations Cali Glow palette. I do love this center shade so much. They're beautiful. This is gonna go in my maybe pile. This Makeup Revolution palette, this is the Vintage Lace Intense Metallic Cream Powder Highlighter. I wouldn't call it cream powder. They are very intense though. Like, they are intense. I wouldn't call them cream powder, but they're intense. And I can pretty much, I think with the exception of this last one, I can use these other three. This is going to go in my maybe pile though. I need to get some more use out of it before I decide. And then the last one I have is the Makeup Obsession Rady Moonlight and Rady Sunlight. It's a double-sided highlighter palette. This is the Moonlight side. And I don't even know if the camera is going to like do these justice, but this one's like a duochrome, like beautifulness. It's like a sparkly purple. It's beautiful. And then the other side, you know, as beautiful as these are, I think I'm going to put these in my maybe pile and see how I get along with them. I haven't used them a ton. And then I think I am going to pass this one along because I feel like I'm really like struggling to justify this palette because I can't use these three as highlights. And these three I, for the most part, duped with my palettes. And then I have even more in singles that I guarantee these two I can dupe. And then the other two green highlights that I had were different from this. This one's a little more goldeny green, but I feel like it's close enough. So I'm going to pass this along. So, didn't do too great, but you know, I'm passing along 4 palettes. And then in my maybe pile is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 palettes. And I started with 33. So we're getting rid of 4. So then that leaves me with 29. And then I have 13 in my maybe pile. So that leaves me with keeping 16 for sure. And then some of these other ones I might get rid of, whether I feel like I don't like the formula that much anymore, or I feel like the colors aren't unique enough. I don't know. We'll see. I will figure my thoughts out, but that's it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I know all of these declutter collection videos are going to be a hot mess, so I apologize for that, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.